This is the coolest Makita tool ever. Literally. What's up everyone? Today we have a tool that really should have been done a few months ago for this part of the world because it's the end of summer here, but I know for a lot of you, you're just about to come into summer, so this may be of use to you. When the 18x2 version of this tool came out, do we call it a tool? Is it a tool? When this came out in the 18x2, so many of you wanted me to review it, and I didn't bother because I knew the 40 volt one was on the way, and it's basically the 18 volt one as well, because this runs on LXT batteries and XGT batteries. Before we go any further, I just need to interject and say that this is a highly edited version of this review. The full review is actually over on my other channel, Builds and Stuff. I will put a link down in the description. It is well over twice the length of this video, but it shows a lot more of the testing that I did, the runtime testing, a bit more banter, a bit more whatever, but it is a bit long. And I know a lot of you are going to want to watch that length of video for just a chili bin. And I'm also on Patreon now too, so a link to that will be in the description as well. Right, back to the cooler. It is of course the CW001G cordless cooler and warmer box. That's what's printed on the box that it came in. In this part of the world it would be called a chili bin. Over the ditch it'd be called an esky. The first thing you notice when you take this thing out of the box is it's pretty darn heavy. It's over 12 kgs. So why is it so heavy? Well, maybe it comes down to the way that it's cooled. I know a lot of you want to know what it is. Is it evaporative? Has it got a compressor in it? Well, it is a compressor. So she may be heavy, but never fear, it does come with a shoulder strap. But when this thing's loaded up, it's going to be super heavy. So it's got wheels down this end and a handle that folds away on the end. This is a 20-litre cooler, chiller, warmer, does everything. That's 5.4 gallons, and it runs on batteries or power. So you get a power adapter, you also get a power adapter to run on a cigarette lighter to run in your vehicle, and you also get a shoulder strap. Two 40 volt stations, an 18 there and another 18 here. So you can't put both battery systems in at the same time because the 40s will block out the 18s and vice versa. Even though it's got two of each, it only needs one battery to run. If you put two batteries in there, it'll deplete one and then it'll jump over and deplete the other. Over here we also have a USB port, so that's cool. While you're having a drink, you can charge up your phone. There's 2.4 amp output on that, so that's quite good. On the top of that lid you can see a couple of beverage holders. This one is pretty sturdy. You could probably sit on that. I won't recommend sitting on it though. But we'll just take a look at the most important feature now, which is of course the beer bottle opener. Does it work? Oh, not the greatest. Yeah, seen better bottle openers. This is where you control the unit from. Now it mostly goes up in 5-degree increments, and that's if we're working in Celsius, which I am. So it starts off at a coldest temperature of -18 degrees Celsius. -18, you can freeze stuff good and proper in this thing. It then jumps to -15 and we go up in 5-degree increments until we get to 10 degrees Celsius, which is 50 Fahrenheit. -18 Celsius is 0 Fahrenheit. Then in the heating mode, it starts off at 30 degrees Celsius and goes up in 5-degree increments up to 60 degrees Celsius, or 85 Fahrenheit up to 140 Fahrenheit. And if you want one, take a look down in the description. I'll put a link to Handy Hardware, that's where I got this one from, and I'll put links to other places in the world as well if I can find them. It's got hand grips on the sides, at the top, and it's also got grips at the bottom on the front and the back. So I'm now going to see how many 330ml cans I can jam in there. Well, at least 18. 27, 28. They say 30 I think in the manual, and it would probably take 30 if I didn't have these in the box because they're not getting hard up against the side. We could maybe wiggle these a bit more, get another couple of cans in. Right, I got two batteries here of the same vintage. They have both just come off the charger. I am going to set this to 10 degrees and in theory 21 hours you get out of those two batteries. So that's what I've set it to, 10. That'll stop flashing in a moment. And 14 degrees is what the temperature is inside here. So it only has to go down 4 degrees and then sit at 10. Let's see if it can do it. 21 hours, you know, when I get up in the morning those batteries should only be sort of half dead. Let's see if that's the case. Next morning, it's been about 13 hours now, and one battery, as you can see, looks like it's completely flat, and the other one's still fully charged, so it's either just kicked over or about to kick over from one to the other, I'm guessing. I had it set to 10 degrees, if you do recall, and it's currently running on 9 degrees. So, happy with that. I'll pull out a can and see how cold it is, eh? What have we got there? Looking about 11 degrees at the top here. And let's get a can from down the bottom. Take a wee look-see. Okay, the temperature points on this can are fluctuating all over the place, but it looks like about 11 degrees at the bottom. Feels pretty cold. Feels colder than 10 degrees, to be honest. Can you see the little light down here, which is the feature I was going to show you in the dark? Haven't gotten around to. It doesn't stay on all the time, so don't worry about it flattening your batteries. If you lift the lid and just take a little peek, it's not on until, oh, you can see it just kicking on and off. Yeah, just like your fridge. It's like magic. I put it on at 7 o'clock last night. It's now 8 o'clock the following morning. That's our 13 hours. And it should supposedly go for 21 hours. But I'm guessing that is when it's already starting at the base level of 10 degrees. Whereas this started at 14, if I do recall. So if I got another half a dozen hours out of it, I'd be fairly happy. Okay, check in again later. It's just past 2 o'clock, and that was the time I said I'd be happy for it to get to. Still showing the one bar there. 8 degrees. It did it. It's made it the full 21 hours. I am impressed. That's actually pretty cold. I'd be happy with drinking that. Don't need to go to 5 degrees. Here I was thinking 5 would be optimum, but well, that's alright. 8 degrees, all good. So seeing as we had done our 21 hours, I've just taken out the dead 18 volt battery that was in there and chucked in a almost dead 40 volt battery just to see if it recognized both batteries from two different systems, and it looks like it does. It's just clocked over 23 hours. One more hour to go. Can it do it? Can it get to 24 hours? I'm guessing it's lasting longer because the ambient temperature is lower than what they state in the manual. The manual, it states it at 30 degrees Celsius, whereas it's only been around 21 in here today. So I'm guessing that's why we've got a few extra hours out of this thing. This last battery seems to be taking forever to go down. It's been on one bar for hours and hours. It's got good solid hinges on it. Okay, it's the following morning and I'm interested to see just how cold this thing sort of is on the inside. It is 19.2 degrees in here, Celsius of course. So I'm going to chuck in two 4 amp hour batteries now on the 40 volt system, and we are going to heat this thing up. But first I just want to see how cool it is, what it's maintained at. Holy moly, still says it's 10 degrees in there. Now we are going to change this to heat, 60 degrees Celsius. It's been half an hour, we're at 42 degrees. Right, we've been running for an hour and a half now, we're at 60 degrees. I'm not sure exactly when it turned into 60 degrees, but we're one bar down on a battery here, so let's see if it's the back one. Yep, back one reading only 2 bars now, front one still full. Meant to go for 7 hours at 60 degrees on the 40 volt 4 amp hour batteries. That's if the ambient temperature is 0 degrees freezing in Celsius, which I'm never going to be doing that, but anyway. It's weird because I've had this over 60 degrees before. So it definitely heats up, good and proper. How long will it last? It's been about an hour and 45 minutes now. If that battery's down too, if that got another hour and 45, that'd be what, 3.5 hours? Another 3.5 hours, that one would be 7. So yeah, that's looking about right. Now you've got a filter on the front here, as you can see. You take that out, clean it out. Pops off nice and easy. And just pops back in like so. What else do you need to know? Here's where you plug her in. If I was taking this camping or out for the day at the beach or whatever, I would chill it right down to like -18 first. And at -18, you know, that's a freezer. I mean, our freezer is only, I run it at -15, so you can get this thing super cold. You can freeze food in it or keep frozen food frozen. If you're at a campsite with power, then you could plug this thing in, use it as your freezer, or use it as your beer chiller, whatever you want. Or if you're going to get takeaways and you live a little bit too far away, you could chuck it in heat mode, stick them in there, they'll still be nice and toasty when you get home. Make sure if you go to buy one, you get one with XGT written on the top here. It's got LXT and XGT written there. That way you're future-proofed. If you're on the 18 volt system, you can still use 40 volt batteries in the future. So I haven't got an 8 amp hour battery to test whether that fits in here or not, but it looks like it probably will. Suppose I better check the USB here. There we go, we're charging. So if you are going to charge, you either have to leave the lid open because there's nowhere for this to go, or you can jam it in there. So it fits alright. If you tip this thing forward, back, side to side too much, okay, beeps at you. It's got 4 rubbery feet on the bottom, which you'll no doubt wear out on the sand when you're dragging around on the beach. I'll give you some of the run times here. If you're running it on 2 5 amp hour 40 volt batteries, you're looking at 10 hours according to this, minus 18, and 36 hours at 10 degrees, or 18 and a half hours at 30 degrees, and 8.5 hours at 60 degrees. You're running 2 6 amp hour batteries on the 18 volt platform, you're looking at 6.5 hours at minus 18, and 25.5 at 10 degrees, and heating it up to 60, you're looking at 5.5 hours. Remember, times are gonna vary greatly depending on how many times you open and close this thing while you're using it. If you've got it sitting in the sun like this, it's gonna need more power to keep it cool, less to keep it hot, that sort of thing. And if we look at the screen here, can you even see it? It is going, but yeah, really hard to see when you're in the sun. Anyway, thanks for watching. Get out there over Easter, do some camping, do some fishing, do some drinking, do whatever you want to do, and I'll see you on another video after Easter. Cheers, guys. I need to chill this thing back down again. Charge up some more batteries.